Welcome to the 911 Survival Guide. This podcast is how to not only survive, but thrive as a 911 telecommunicator. I'm your host, Brett Batchelor. I've been a licensed telecommunicator in the state of Texas for over 14 years, now serving as the training coordinator at NCT 911, the North Central Texas Emergency Communications Districts. So we are going to go on a journey together. And my goal is to provide you with some skills to help you better navigate the career of public safety as a 911 telecommunicator. Whether you're new in the career, thinking about starting the career, or you're a veteran, give you some skills and some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. In the field of 911, as well as all public safety, we are severely understaffed. And we need people, and we are losing people in this job. And it's not because of lack of love for the job, but it's kind of all the other baloney we got to deal with. So I say all that to say I'm not an expert. Different things work for different people, but I'm excited to share my experiences and some things I've picked up along the way in my almost 15 years now, and bring some other people along, share perspectives, and talk about some things to try to make this job we love just a little bit easier. So let's first talk about the job of a 911 telecommunicator. Hopefully, if you're listening, you maybe are in that field, kind of got an idea, but hopefully you haven't watched just the classic Fox TV show 911. It is a little bit different. For those that go into this industry, this is not about money or fame or even, frankly, good days off. This is a career you get into for a passion for helping others. Public safety is a career of service. And one of the things that makes this career so unique as a 911 telecommunicator is in your roles, you are kind of singular in your role. While we definitely work as a team, whether you're fellow dispatchers, supervisors, field responders, when it's you on the phone, you on the radio, solo dolo, it's just you. When they call us with their emergency after they've tried all the things that didn't work, we have to be the expert. When we're on the radio with our first responders, anything they ask, any request they make, we've got to have it. And that can make it difficult at times. And that status we have is not something that was given to us, but something earned from our predecessors in the field, and then the hard work of earning the respect of your peers and your fellow first responders. And that's work every day, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. And while this is a very individual field, you can't do this alone. A career in public safety 911, you have to work together to be able to do this. You know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That's also true in dispatch. You need to find your community, understand what your resources are, who your peers are, who you can talk to, find outlets. Everybody deals with things differently. If the job was, you had nothing going on in your life and it just was working 12 hours a day, answering calls that were very difficult, everybody's worst day, that would be tough. If you had the perfect job, we made $1 million, you had all your laundry done, everything done at the house, it still would be a tough job. But we have all those other things going on, all these other personal things, all these other factors in there. We want to work on making sure we take care of ourselves. Mental health is very important to me. It's starting to get the spotlight shown onto it now, but it's been really undervalued. And as I like to say, mental health is important to me, not because I have great mental health, because I struggle with it like everyone else, and I want us to be open about those struggles so we can help each other. All right, so we got to figure out our tools, our tips, what we're doing. The career of 911 is unlike any other. You really can't understand it or figure it out or even know if you can do it until you do the job. That's what makes the hiring process and the new process for our new telecommunicators from perspective so difficult. How do you figure that out? Well, it's tough, For those interested, I encourage you to go out to your local agencies in your area. I know they are hiring. We are all hiring. We need good people all the time. Reach out to them, let you know you're interested, or you know what? See if you can do an observe or, a sit-along, I will call it. When we have our officers, we do a ride-along. Do a sit-along, go in there, check it out. Sit with one of those seniors dispatchers. If you're really interested in the career, don't just go in on Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. See if they'll let you come in at a crazy early hour, late hour on the weekends, really see what it's all about. So something you need to know, those new to the field, perspective of the field, and something that those have worked in the field know all too common is criticism is a part of the profession. It is something you got to deal with and understand. While it may seem easy, not that difficult, to take some constructive criticism, pick up your gaps, find out where you are, it's not easy when you get it all the time. In the field of 911, we have to be perfect, because if we are incorrect in certain areas, it could be life and death, right? It's not a trivial thing. You put the wrong license plate number, you put the wrong information, we miss something to the call, there could be life and death consequences. So because of that, the standard that we try to hold ourselves is to perfection, which can be very difficult at times. But while we're doing that, we talked about we're not an island, we're not solo dolo, we got to work together. We got to figure out how we can help each other, work on giving constructive criticism to our peers, but also, maybe more importantly, is receiving constructive criticism. Not all criticism's not constructive, but we need to be able to understand, take those notes, realize how to accept it, move forward, and not let that bog us down. So in this field, we all want to be perfect. Nobody gets up and wants to have a bad day, people to be upset, do a bad job at work. We all want the same thing. Get up, have a good day, go to work, make enough money to live comfortably, spend time with our family and friends, watch our shows, have fun, and find value in our jobs. And criticism can be tough, especially in something like 911 where we know the stakes are so high and you're really trying your most best, giving of yourself all the time. And it's really tough for me too. I'm a classic imposter syndrome kind of person. I personalize things. I can kind of get down on myself. That was something that I struggled with when I first got in the field. So we're going to talk about some ways you can take that constructive criticism and use it to be positive and not let it beat you down. All right, so the first thing is avoid immediately reacting. That's the number one thing. Don't be like, well, the reason is I've got an excuse, and that happened because relax. You're not being attacked. If it's true constructive criticism, that's going to come from your peers, your supervisors. That caller on the phone that's yelling and cursing and saying every name under the book, that's not constructive criticism, okay? We got to take that. Sometimes the things we say are going to work with that person. Sometimes it's not, and those are why we have those beautiful supervisors that we have. When I was a supervisor, that's what we did. When you were working, taking the calls, and that person is irate, you've done everything you can, and they are just hot fire, will not take no for an answer. That's what those supervisors are there. The supervisors are there to take that burden from you so you can get your line free to handle the next emergency. So avoid that immediate reaction. Don't let that adrenaline dump. Don't get angry. You stop listening. Think about what you can do with this information. How can we take it and improve ourselves? So we're not overreacting. We're listening to find things we can make it actionable. Listen to understand. Don't just listen to respond. In our society, we are terrible about that. I'm terrible about that, especially when you're in a group, you're talking about something you're excited about. You're not even listening to the other person or the other people. You're just waiting for a gap in the conversation so you can say something. And if somebody comes and tells you, hey, Brad, this call was really bad, this did not go well, we're immediately defensive. We're trying our best. We take pride in our work. No, well, what happened was, relax, stop, be quiet, shut up for just a minute. Listen to what they're saying. Understand what's happening. Don't just listen to respond. Listen to understand. Connect that feedback back to your role. Don't personalize everything as a personal attack. That's one of my triggers, something that I struggle with. I try to personalize everything. They're not mad at you. If it's a peer or supervisor or a mentor or another person saying, hey, you did this. This is how I think you could improve. All they're doing is showing you love. They are trying to let you improve, be better at your job. See that for what it is. Don't take it as an attack. Don't let that get you upset, get you down. Listen to it. Okay, here's what I can do. This is how I can improve. Something else that you don't think about. Thank the person for the constructive criticism. That's going to blow them out of the water if you say, you know what? Man, I didn't know I was doing that. Thank you so much. When I worked, we had a certain area was like warrants and confirmations and entry, and everybody went back there to run their 2728s and do all their stuff. In my role, I would go back there very infrequently. And when I got trained, it was like holiday weekend. I wasn't back there very much. So when I would go back there, The veteran on the shift, the next day I would have a little nasty gram in my blocker. Some return, something I entered, something very minor, something that she had corrected or caught, and would say, hey, Brett, this is not right. You didn't do this small thing you need to correct. And I was grateful. I knew that I didn't feel comfortable. I really appreciated her saying, hey, you screwed up. Here's what you need to do. We need that. We got to learn. And I really, for whatever reason, I really enjoyed when she told me, because I knew she was going to tell me from a place of helping versus it getting down the road and being a problem. A lot of people really were at odds with her when she would do that, but I loved it. I'd always tell her, thank you so much. Have that perspective. Find that opportunity. Let us work to improve ourselves. Like I said, when we get those people that are angry and upset, transfer that over to our call supervisor. Let them handle it. That being said, be careful and don't just shut down. Like I said, I was a supervisor at one time, and I was working night shift, and I had a call taker who told me, hey, I've got this caller. He's upset. He wants to talk to the supervisor. So he transferred him over. And I said, communication supervisor, my name is Brett. Can I help you? And can I hear the guy, they're still chasing me. And I was like, what? Who's chasing you? What is happening? Well, there was some confusion. The caller was not mad at the call taker who wanted to speak with the supervisor. He was running from getting jumped outside of a bar in a less than desirable part of town. So really quickly, I became the call taker in my office. I had to run and go get a computer, get a CAD so I could start adding stuff to the call. It was crazy. It was quite a wake-up moment for me as a supervisor. I was expecting somebody to be grouchy, not being chased by 3 armed guys. So, like I said, that supervisor's there. They're going to take that call. But anytime we're getting ready with a call, we're going to transfer it to another agency, give it to a supervisor. Make sure we know what we have. Don't be just so ready to hand that call off. Whew, this is not mine. Whew, I got to get rid of it. Let me transfer it over. Listen to what they're telling us. As soon as they get on the phone, they're just going to dump so much good information off top. Make sure you don't miss it because you're trying to look for something else. All right, so now we are gonna talk about the other thing, right? We're gonna get it. We're gonna make it actionable, be positive. Now we need to give it, especially when you're working in a group and things are gonna be heated, gonna be tough, but you don't have time to do the job for the person. You need them to help you do it, and you don't want to be rude to this person. They're doing the best they can. Giving constructive criticism. The classic sandwich method does not work. Hey, you're doing a great job. You're dumb. And keep doing a great job. Nobody heard the other parts of the sandwich. You just heard the dumb part. That's not going to work. When you give somebody constructive criticism, don't just criticize them. Give them something they can do, an actionable thing. You know what? When you're on the call with this person, you transferred the caller to me while the guy was getting run by people with a bat. What I need you to do is make sure you get some more information from the caller, get the location, get all these things before you transfer it over. Give some information so that they can take it and it's not feeling like an attack. When you're given that constructive criticism, don't be negative, but also don't be positive. In 911, we're pretty good at getting to the sus of things. People lie to us all the time, and people know when you're blowing smoke. Don't be overly positive. I had a call when I first started. It was a sexual assault call where it was a report after the fact. And I took the call, and I didn't realize that when you were transferring a call, that the line was still recording. So I was talking to the individual, getting ready them to transfer over to our EMS after we got the information. And I was frustrated that it was taking too long to get her call transferred and they weren't picking up. And I was frustrated in the time in between. My supervisor came to me and said, hey, this is not good. You didn't do this. But she didn't do it in a negative way or a positive way. She just played the audio and let me hear what happened. Oh my goodness, big lesson learned. She didn't have to be overly positive. I knew I screwed up. Ultimately, it didn't affect any outcome of the call. We still got her the help as quickly as we could. But that was a big lesson for me, something I could learn and move forward from. And then the last one I'm going to leave you with is give feedback in a timely manner. Don't let it stew with you and let the person know. Don't run over in the middle of the thing and tell them, whoop, you're screwing up, you're doing this bad, in a negative, ugly way. But if somebody makes a mistake, especially in dispatch, we're all working different shifts. Things happen so quickly. And when we get quality assurance QA'd, usually it's months and months later, and they'll tell us about a mistake we're doing. We don't remember doing it. We don't remember what happened. Make sure if something's going on and you're trying to give someone some constructive criticism, give it to them in a timely manner so they can improve it, stop making that mistake, and can work to get better. So, guys, we've made it. We've come to the end of episode 1 of the 911 Survival Guide. And we talked about some things, that constructive criticism, not having that thin skin. And this is number 1. This is going to be an evolving process. You know, through your career, if you've got some tips or tricks or things that you've really learned, a lesson that's really been helpful to you, I would love to hear it. Please reach out and let me know. If you'd like to come on here and share some lessons learned or some fun stories or things with this 911 community, we'd love that too. Bear with us as we're trying to figure out our pacing, but we're definitely going to have some more people, more tips and information to come, things that you can benefit from, and then other professionals in the field who can give their perspective so you're not just hearing from just one guy's view. So, again, thank you so much. This is the 911 Survival Guide. Stay safe out there, telecommunicators. We need each of you. You're doing a great job. Keep doing it. And until next time, this is Brett Batchelor signing off.